So in the very hypothetical situation that you had a gun to my head, and let's hope that never happens, but you said, Kyron, I want 5 altcoins that you would buy and never sell. Essentially, what are the best 5 altcoins in the entire market that has the most amount of potential? Well, in that unfortunate situation, at least for me, I would give this video to you. Okay, so again, these projects I'm looking for here are ones that have the highest potential, and particularly for the sake of this video in 2025. So the first project is XRP, and let me be 100% transparent with you guys. I don't own much XRP, but that's just because of the current price. If it were cheaper, yes, I would buy a lot more XRP, knowing as much as I do now. I still think it's undervalued for where it can go, but that does depend on demand, which I think it can get. We're just obviously still under the SEC's BS hammer right now, okay? So, current market cap is $26 billion, which I deem actually quite reasonable. Again, this has been a lot higher in the past, and it will be in the future. Current price is just about 51 cents, and I'm going to give you news on each of these projects today because I think it's important for those of you who aren't particularly knowledgeable on the projects to have some information to go, okay, maybe I should look into them. Maybe they're, because of the reasons, doing some really big stuff, and maybe it's an incentive to do that, okay? So Ripple, somewhat recently, again, only about a month ago now, acquired a company called Medico. Now, they acquired this company, as you can see, for $250 million. Let's read a little bit about this, right? So Ripple has announced that it acquired Medico, a cryptocurrency custodial company based in Switzerland, for 250 M's in cash and Ripple equity. Now, with this move, Ripple will expand its offerings as it now will be able to custody, issue, and settle any type of tokenized asset. What the hell? This is some of the most bullish news I think you can possibly have for Ripple, aside from obviously Ripple itself being out of the lawsuit, guys. So there's some huge information coming out this year, which is fantastic. And as all of you Ripple fans should already know, this company's doing wonders. It just isn't talked about, unfortunately, because of the ongoing lawsuit. Now, where do I think it's going to go in 2025? Well, simply put, I think the minimum is going to go to $5 and the max is $100. Now, I want to say the minimum and maximum I say here, particularly for this video, is like where I think it could peak. Now, we're investors. We're just like pretty much advanced traders. If good news, bad news comes out, that will change the narrative, right? This can change on the daily. So for those of you who aren't subscribed, hit subscribe. I come out with 2 videos every single day now, and we'll keep you in the loop for my updated price predictions, and obviously like the video for the current price predictions if you can. That'd be great. So yeah, guys, this can change on a whim. I want you to be very well aware. At least this is, given the current news, what I'm predicting. Okay, so $5 could be the lowest tip-off point, or $100 in like the world's best case, okay? Now, we actually are only up 65% here from its all-time low. Again, I'm going to track this from the bear market, basically. So we're only 65% up from prices we saw all the way back here in 2021. So yeah, quite good, guys. And as you can see over here, the minimum of $5 would give us, from the today's price, an 8x. Okay, so you can see why I'm not too happy with the current price, but you know, anything can happen. Now, project number 2, it should not be any surprise to you. It's Stellar, essentially the somewhat sister net to XRP. Not technically, they kind of are linked in certain ways, but it's 10x lower in terms of the market cap, okay? So we have a lot more chance here for more multiples, especially because of the circulating supply as well. Now, I love Stellar. These guys are more so focused on the retail market. XRP's on the sort of institutional, larger market. So yeah, these guys can definitely have a large market to disrupt. Now, there is some really important news coming out in 2023. These guys are heavily focused this year on utility, and it's very important for a network that is heavily utility-based to be focused on utility, right? So I'm not going to go too far into this. I've made a video on every single one of these projects in more depth, specifically with the updates, but we will touch on that for those who haven't seen those videos. So Stellar says they're contributing to the ecosystem with a clear purpose to essentially create equitable access to the global financial system. Bank the unbanked, okay? And this comes with adding pretty much more on and off ramps or intuitive products, essentially making it accessible and usable to everyone, okay? And crypto right now, as we should all know, with many on and off ramps, they're very unreliable. Unfeasible is probably the better word in that case, right? So these guys are focusing on bettering their application layer, which is the Soroban development here. They're also looking at scaling for increased traffic and decentralization, providing more tools for developers to obviously come on and build. That's what creates the utility, so obviously that's pretty important as well. They're looking to bring on more tier 1 assets, so real world assets, tokenize them and offer them to people using the Stellar network. Also access, so again, on and off ramps here, making this a more viable product. and again, updating their ecosystem, okay? So some big stuff. What do I think is going to happen in 2025? A minimum of $1 is your answer and a maximum of $6. We only are up 23% from pretty much the first of this year, right? Which, as we should all know, was when Bitcoin hit its lowest price in respect to the last few years at $6,500. And so, yeah, guys, I'm quite bullish on Stellar. As you guys know, I hold a fair bit. And as we can see here, if it hits the minimum, that's about a 10x from current price. So, project number 3, XDC Network. Why XDC Network? Well, for starters, it's below a $500 million market cap right now. But these just aren't, this project isn't just like another layer 1 network, right? You can have so many different layer 1 general purpose networks out there. But while these guys somewhat are a general purpose blockchain, just like most are, they are heavily focused within the trade finance sector. Again, remember, as a blockchain, specifically like layer 1 network, you want to be focusing on a niche. If you go too broad, it is very hard to stand out, okay? Most people go with what they know, right? Which is typically Ethereum in this case. So XDC is niching this way and it's going to unlock a hell of a lot of value. We'll talk about just how much right now. So they recently partnered with, and it's a very huge partnership, by the way, banking powerhouse over in Japan called SBI. Now, SBI recently added them to their exchange, right? Their subsidiary. They have an exchange. But this is kind of like the precipice of a lot larger partnership at play here. Essentially, XDC, as this article mentions, offers a robust blockchain network designed specifically for enterprise use cases like trade finance, payments, and real-world asset tokenization. Now, you might be thinking, why is XDC so heavily focused on trade finance and what separates them? Well, I've made a video again on that. You guys should check it out after this one. But of course, they are, there's developments in place that make it specifically good for that market, okay? Now, get this. This is where the really big news comes into play. With a focus on enhancing efficiency in the estimated annual 2,000 trillion yen trade finance market. How much is 2,000 trillion? What a strange number. In terms of US, 14 trillion. This is just the Japanese trade finance market, the largest or one of the largest trade finance markets in the entire world. So there's a lot that XDC can absorb here, and this is just one of the many things. Now, it does get better for XDC in this case, guys. They are also pretty much very intimate with 𝗡cie𝗿𝗡𝗩𝗣, an enterprise-grade sort of blockchain, right, that has a lot of private networks, or is essentially a private network. XDC is now the official public network, or has been for a while now, of the 𝗡cie ecosystem, unlocking trade finance-specific networks or companies like Commonwealth, ING, HSBC, MasterCard, AWS, the list goes on. So essentially, XDC is like the public network side of it, allows access into, Web3 and so on and so forth, okay? So these networks can now operate outside of the 𝗡cie ecosystem a lot more efficiently. Now, where do I see the price going in 2025? Well, minimum 25 cents and maximum $3. So at a minimum, it's only a 6x, at least my predictions. These things can change, but as of right now, I just don't think the current price is as good as what it can be. We are only 61% up. I think anything under 100% is good for the lowest price in respect to the current bear market. But yeah, I definitely see XDC as a longer term play here, just because these things take a long time to kind of gain traction. And right now, XDC really won't benefit as much from retail speculation, which is essentially going to be crypto in 2025, as good as some other networks like number 4 on this list, Hedera. Okay, I mean, make no mistake, Hedera is it is my largest holding, but it's one of my favorite projects, hand down. Currently, extremely undervalued at $1.6 billion market cap. Again, I've told people many times, it's a great buy under 5 cents. Not financial advice, of course, I have to add that disclaimer in, of course. Right, so some recent big news with 𝗡cie𝗿𝗡𝗩𝗣 is that it has partnered with Red Swan, a commercial tokenization company. Should I say commercial real estate tokenization company. Currently $2.2 billion worth of real estate under its wing, and they plan to upgrade that in the next 36 months to $35 billion, right? So they're tokenizing everything on the Hedera network, which pretty much means a lot more traffic will come through, at least a lot more volume, because now obviously, assets are tokenized. You can now enter the real estate market, particularly commercial, which, requires upwards of millions of dollars for down payments at as low as $20,000, right? So obviously this is going to open the doors to a lot of investors, therefore bringing the traffic into 𝗡cie𝗿𝗡𝗡𝗡. Fantastic stuff, okay? Now, make no mistake, 𝗡cie𝗿𝗱𝗡 is definitely the most used network right now because it has a plethora of amazing partners and it can optimize itself for IoT and supply chain, right? So look at this, 1400 TPS. It's been doing this all day, right? Most other networks typically run what's on the testnet, right? 6 TPS, not 𝗡cie𝗿𝗱𝗡. 𝗡cie𝗿𝗱𝗡 is a cut above the rest in my opinion, right? Now, where do I see this going in 2025? Well, minimum side of things, 69 cents. Please, no one laugh at that down below. And maximum $5. Again, $5 is a massive stretch. That's like $200 billion market cap, right? So we're talking like best case in the possible world, Amazon partnership, so on and so forth. But 𝗡cie𝗿𝗱𝗡 can make that happen. Don't get me wrong. At the lowest point, it'll be about 12.5x. So that's not too bad, but pales in comparison to the next one. And that is Quant, right? Quant's at $105 right now. Had a bit of fluctuations recently with the massive news, which I'm going to briefly touch on because, again, I've made like 20 videos on that news. So at a market cap of $1.2 billion, Quant is disgustingly undervalued, guys. And I'm going to emphasize the word disgusting. This project has a great benefit of a supply shock, right? As you can see with the setting supply here, very, very low. It's like 3/4 that of Bitcoins. Okay, so again, the news I've touched on many times, they pretty much have announced, this is Gilbert, the founder and CEO of Quant, that they're working with the BIS, or Bank of International Settlements, who has 63 other central banks under their wing. So essentially, if Quant actually is proven to be used in the BIS, or by the BIS, should I say, or at least with the UK economy, chances are every single other or most other economies or banks, central banks, are going to want to use the Quant network as well within their economies, okay? Because essentially, they've tested it. If it, again, the report isn't out yet, looks like it's going to work, well, they're just going to go with what works. It's as simple as that, right? But also, with this news, you know, it definitely overshadowed, but this is nothing to scoff at. They announced that in this testing, where it's called Project Rosalind, the testing pretty much the Quant network in an economy use, the way they tested it was with a few very, very large institutions or even central banks, right? Bank of Canada, obviously testing central bank payments, Barclays, MasterCard, and Amazon. So if anything, these companies know about Quant, if not they're already using Quant. So yeah, massive news, guys. And look, right now, they're 144% up from the very, very low way back over here in June of last year, pretty much 12 months ago to the day almost, right? So Quant's one of those projects where I'm surprised it's not actually higher than this. And as I said before, like ideally we're looking for under 100% up from its low on the bear market, but you can't complain because if we have a look at the price predictions, I think the minimum in 2025 is going to be $2,000, which is the highest on this list at an 18x, okay? 18x. The max I see it going to is $10,000. So irrespective of the current pump or where it's been in the past, recent past, yeah, it's going to go up a lot higher than this. Again, predictions, but I'm pretty confident in that. And so with that being said, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Again, this is just simply the 5 projects I would buy and hold if you had a gun to my head and I only could buy 5. It's as simple as that. I know I bought some other projects and I know I love other projects, but I see these actually disrupting the largest markets and already have a good penetration within them for me to speculate on a lot of money with them. Okay, so hopefully this has provided you some idea of each of the projects, and if not, just updated you on some of the news. Now again, guys, if you have enjoyed or found value from this video, they take a long time to create, so I'd really appreciate you hitting the like button down below, and if you really want to, subscribing. Again, 2 videos a day coming every single day from now on. Okay guys, take care, talk to you soon, bye.